So the debt ceiling bill has been approved by the House of Representatives. Now what? What does this mean? Where to from here? So first thing to understand is US Congress consists of two parts. It consists of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Now it's passed through the House of Representatives, but the bill still needs to get through the Senate before it can be put in front of Joe Biden for sign-off. Now, what we're likely to see before that happens is much more of what we've already seen. Some drama, some kickbacks, some negotiations, because ultimately they are going to hold the president over a barrel and get everything they can out of him before they sign off on something we all know that they will sign off on because it's in their best interests. Now, if you don't understand why I'm saying that, just click on the link and have a look at the previous video I've done on understanding the US debt ceiling, and you'll see very quickly why they are heavily motivated to do it, because it's in their best interests. So what is in this bill and what does it actually allow them to do? Well, they're not actually specifying a new debt ceiling in this bill. What they're doing is completely deferring the debt ceiling until 2025, after the next federal election. So essentially what that will do is allow them to keep spending, keep borrowing until after the next federal election. So basically they don't have to keep talking about this leading into the election. Now, does it solve the problem? Absolutely not. It has solved absolutely nothing. What it does do is allow them to pay their bills, pay their federal employees, Medicare, healthcare, military, all very important things, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't change the fact that the government is spending more money than they can afford to spend because they can't even afford to pay the interest on their existing loans. And getting it approved does allow the rest of the world to breathe a bit easier, knowing that the world economy isn't about to implode, at least not imminently. Now, there are many that would argue, and I would be one of them, that there is a day of reckoning coming because this isn't fixing the problem and they don't seem to be showing any signs of changing their behaviour. However, since the debt ceiling was introduced in 1917, they've done this many times before. So is that day of reckoning coming anytime soon? Nobody knows. At least if this bill is approved, we know the day of reckoning is not coming until at least 2025. So let's zoom out and try and remove some of the noise, because really that is one of the hardest things to do in the world at the moment, is actually remove all the noise and look at what matters, or at least remove enough of the clutter to get a bit of clarity. Now, one of the best pieces of clarity you can get for navigating the markets is the 18.5-year real estate cycle. Now, if you don't know anything about that cycle, that is crucial reading and crucial listening. I will be creating content specifically about that and how to navigate that cycle and how to use it to limit your risk and to profit. So subscribe if you want to know more about that and hit the notification button so that when I do produce that, you can get access to that immediately. But if I was to sum up the second half of the cycle in an overly simplistic way, the second half of the cycle is characterized by high cost of living, which we're definitely seeing, cracks starting to show in the world economies, but ultimately all being overshadowed by ever increasing real estate prices and share market prices. Now, that may seem a little bit hard to believe at the moment, but if we do push away all the noise, just quietly underneath, we can see that the pieces of the puzzle are actually starting to move into place to allow for this to happen. Now, the piece of the puzzle that has not completely moved into place yet is easy access to credit. However, it definitely is headed in that direction. Worldwide, we've got government-backed loans, we've got 0% deposit loans, we've got the return of the low doc loan. Now, you're not going to find a bank waving a flag saying, hi, we've brought back the low doc loan. If you do, actually put it in the comments. I'd love to see it. But what you do see is loans that achieve the same thing, or products that achieve the same thing, which are brought in and described as products that are brought in to make it easier for the borrower, to reduce wait times and to simplify the lending process. But ultimately what it does is reduce the amount of proof you need to provide to show that you can actually afford that loan. This is all paving the way for the same repeat of history. So back to the cycle, in order for that speculation to happen, and when I say speculation, that's basically people just buying real estate and stocks, assuming that they're just going to go higher. Not actually having a reason to believe that they're going to go higher, but just assuming that they will. Now, to take that gamble, they need easy access to money and credit from the banks. So it's not quite there yet, but it sure is getting close. When we add in that there is this huge undersupply of housing worldwide and really no chance of catching up with that supply need anytime soon, and the start of the loosening of credit, we're certainly starting to see things fall into place. So where does this leave us today? Well, I'm not saying that there is a clear open road ahead. I believe we still have turbulent times to come. However, things are definitely falling into place for that second half of the real estate cycle, that upward spiral that is yet to come, leading into a likely peak in US land prices at around 2026, and then the unraveling of things that comes after that, again, if history repeats. Now, I know that might sound like a staggering forecast, but this cycle has repeated very, very accurately and consistently for over 200 years. So if history is to repeat, then that's likely what we will see happen. If it doesn't repeat, hooray for all of us. But again, if you don't know anything about that cycle, make sure you subscribe and pay attention when I do put out that content, because it really is crucial listening and crucial watching for navigating the next few years. If you found this interesting, hit like. If you've got any questions, throw it in the comments. And again, if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button so you know when more content comes out. Until next time, invest safely.